All right, welcome to 365 SBS episode 44 by the book. It's a beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon, and I decided to have a show about miracles. It was prompted mainly by a conversation I had last night at David and Paula's party that they so graciously threw for us. And by the way, speaking of miracles, that dinner, it was the exceedingly excellent production. I even think Cecil B. will be proud of you all for the way you threw that together, and it was flawless. And after dinner, I had a conversation with Patty of Jay and Patty fame, and she told me a story about something that happened to her two sons, and it reminded me of this song I wrote called By the Book again, that I had neglected for quite a while. I kind of wrote it in the form of an old medieval miracle play, somewhat of a fable, based on what I believe will be reality. And after you hear this story about Jay and Patty's kids, it's pretty amazing, the correlations. So I know at least, and I hesitated to play the song because I didn't think, who's going to relate to this? Very few people. Well, I know at least 4 people that are going to relate to this song. So I'm going to do it right now. It's called By the Book. And let's see if I'm on screen. I believe I am. I got my nice old Washburn here. As soon as I get my strap turned around. Come on now, you cooperate with me. There we go. Over the head. Like I said, it's by the book. Have you ever heard of that misty mountain line? It ran through San Antonio to old St. Luke. The fireman was crippled and the engineer was blind. Still they always played it by the book. They lived on smoke and steam and speed, and never slept a wink, looking to the stars to guide their way. The only song they ever sang was Sweet Angeline, and once a year they'd bow their heads to pray. Summer night, the rain fell down like anvils from the sky. The lightning bolts were brighter than the sun. The engineer never blinked an eye, as none he had to blink. In any way he had a train to run. The Bull Run Bridge was washed away, and the canyon gate below, like hungry jaws waiting for its prey. She came roaring up the hill, no thought of slowing down. Full steam ahead is all they ever see. Single care, never realizing what was done. The hands that held them both that night have filled me up as well. And I suppose I'm not the only one. Have you ever heard of that misty mountain line? It ran from San Antonio to old St. Luke. The fireman was crippled and the engineer was blind, but still they always played it by the book. Still they always played it. Oh, they always played it. Still they always played it by the book. All right, there it is, by the book. Now I'm going to show you a picture and tell you the story. I think Patty wouldn't mind if I relate the story. And see, we're going to turn on a light or two. You know, you got to conserve on the energy. You know, miracles or not, you got to watch that electric bill. Okay, now here we are. There's the book. Hello. There's the book. There she is. I kind of think of this picture as a picture of my daughter who loves to read. And we're going to, for the sake of this show, we're going to consider this the Bible. Could be anything else. Could be something from Piers Anderson, which she likes to read. It could be Boswell's The Life of Johnson, which I like to read, which we had a nice discussion about the other day. But there's the picture. And the story I'd like to relate that Patty told me was this happened to her two sons independently of one another. They were both out driving at I don't know if it was on the same time or close to the same time. And they were in a state of, let's say, joyous exultation and driving exceptionally fast. They lost control of their car, started skidding towards a body of water. I think one was a small lake or a deep pond. I'm not quite sure of the precise details, but they both thought it's in this situation it happened so fast and they had no time to get loose, and they thought they were going to their death because they couldn't get out, they couldn't undo their seatbelt, they were driving crazily, sliding towards a watery doom. And this is the miraculous part. Somehow they passed out and woke up and they were back on the road. And it happened so instantly to both of them, they couldn't conceive of possibly how that happened. And then apparently when they got home, somehow they made it home that night and checked later the next day wondering if it was just a dream or just a, whatever. They went back and they saw skid marks at the very location they had been at, going right straight down into the lake. And there you go. And so that's where you can see they related to my story about the Misty Mountain Line and the Bull Run Bridge, which was blown away. And yet they lived to sing Sweet Angeline one more day. And there's the song, and there's the story, and there's the picture. Got some nice stuff there. And speaking of miracles, I was thinking, I read through the scriptures today searching for some relevant passages, and it seemed like Jesus' attitude was similar to that of Hank Hill, that, that miracles, if necessary, are a worthy component of your whole program. But only if they're necessary, because, well, like, I don't know if you remember the episode, Hank was putting up a shelf in Bobby's room, and he had all his tools and was doing an excellent job. Had everything set. He was about to put the shelf up, and his son Bobby asked him if he could put the nail in with one blow. Oh, that kind of enraged Hank, because he turned to Bobby and said kind of sharply, Bobby, this isn't a circus. But yes, I could. And so I think that's what Jesus, in fact, I read the few passages I read, one where Jesus healed the leper. He told him, don't tell anybody. Just go to the Pharisees and do what's required. And he actually, if you remember the story, he had to be talked into performing his first miracle by his mother. And then the other passage where he's walking on the water, he's walking on the water to get to the boat. I mean, he's fine with what's regular, but hey, if you got to perform a miracle to get the job done, then you do it. And so I guess Patty's boys, they needed a miracle, or else it was Dunsville. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So here we go, and there it is, by the book. And I'll let my idea of Natalie reading here have the classic pose while we go with our standard ciao for now, hashtag GBE Dunsville.